Thank you, comrades, and good morning. Comrade Chairman, Comrade General Secretary, members of the Central Executive, Regional Democratic Councils, District Councils, Neighborhood Democratic Councils, municipalities, group leaders, invitees, and all our members and supporters of our great party, I add my welcome as well. Permit me to welcome you as well and to urge all present to let us have deliberations which are robust, cordial, and fruitful. I believe that as a party, we must be free to discuss, and this occasion is one where we must discuss frankly, arrive at conclusions, and then move on. It is also opportune for me to thank you all for electing us as the new Central Executive Committee to lead our party at this very important juncture in our history. Permit me to express our thanks and appreciation for the work of our immediate past leader, Comrade David Granger, and all those who have contributed to the party during his tenure. We wish you well in your future endeavors, as we express our desire to benefit from your rich experience as leader of our party. As a party that cares and appreciates the services of all those who contributed to our development, I wish to, on behalf of all members of our party, thank our elders who have contributed significantly to the development of our party and country. We salute you. We wish to reassure you that we are in the process of developing the modalities for a constitutional arrangement to ensure we continue to benefit from your advice and guidance. We are meeting in very positive circumstances in our party. We're assembled for our first General Council since our 21st Biennial Delegates Congress. Our Congress has been hailed as very successful and as a shining example of what democracy in a political party should be. We have led the way for others to follow and would have taken internal political democracy to a higher level. Our elections were open, free, fair, and transparent. We have set a clear example for those who want to be democratic to follow. We must maintain this democratic approach. The dream of a prosperous Guyana eluded generations of Guyanese. All of us assembled here must recall our parents speaking of abundant natural resources. Yet for generations, we struggle to deliver the quality of life to our people, the quality of life that our people deserve. We could debate the reasons for this, but that will be a distraction. Today, we are poised for deep-rooted transformation, and this is what I want us to talk about. The People's National Congress reform must position itself so that it can, along with its coalition partners, effect transformational change to the quality of life of all Guyanese. When I say quality of life, what do I mean? I mean a high standard of health, comfort, and happiness enjoyed by all Guyanese. Here is where we will part company with the PPP. They will come to tell us about income, GDP, oil production figures, etc. But those are not indicators of a quality a high quality of life. They cannot be, because their corruption robs us of what should rightly be ours, and therefore we cannot allow the PPP to continue on this present path. A path that is characterized by incompetence, a path that is characterized by corruption and divisiveness. The PNC intends to spearhead the chartering of a better path with a better vision and a better plan. We will be pursuing a people-centered development strategy. Yes. Everything we do, we will put the people at the center. We will focus on improving the quality of life of the poor, the disadvantaged, the elderly, single parents, small farmers, the vulnerable, youth, women, and we will promote micro and small business development. We believe it is our task to focus on the disadvantaged. We will promote and utilize the minimum livable income as a means of reducing poverty and ensuring Guyanese have livable wages and salaries. Our people deserve nothing less. At the same time, we need to strengthen our social security and social assistance programs to ensure poverty alleviation and a high quality of life for our senior citizens. We in the People's National Congress Reform must commit to the transformational increase of health facilities and services and ensure access to them. We must ensure comfort and happiness of all Guyanese. However, before I expand on this, let's look at the quality of life in Guyana relative to countries in the Caribbean and wider afield. The United Nations ranks Guyana 120 out of 185 countries on its Human Development Index scale. We are ranked below every Caribbean country except Haiti. This is unacceptable. We are just one place above Iraq, a war-torn country. Jamaica is 21 places above us. Suriname 24, Trinidad and Tobago 54, and Barbados 64. We have work to do. And it is being proposed to this General Council that the People's National Congress Reform continues its active planning and engagement with stakeholders for the implementation of a broad swath of programs to drastically transform the quality of life of all Guyanese. To effect this transformation, we first must ensure our citizens enjoy world-class healthcare services. This will require training of healthcare practitioners, introduction of cutting-edge technology, and the construction of state-of-the-art hospitals. This is what the PNCR, as part of the coalition, will work to achieve. According to PAHO, 68% of deaths in 2016 in Guyana were attributed to non-communicable disease, specifically cardiovascular disease, 34%, cancers, 8%, diabetes, 8%, and chronic respiratory diseases, 3%. We have work to do. And the People's National Congress Reform has commenced planning to address these issues as soon as we, along with our coalition partners, return to government. We have set up sectorial committees with people that are advising us on the way forward. Education in Guyana must be world-class. Firstly, our schools can no longer be buildings with benches and desks and chairs and tables. The People's National Congress Reform will ensure all new schools are built to first world standards. They must be equipped with chemistry, physics, and IT labs. There must be no restrictions to our children satisfying their intellectual curiosities. Every school child in Guyana must have the right to a smart classroom, and teachers equipped to function in this environment. This will enhance the teaching and learning process for both teachers and students by incorporating audio, video, animation, images, and multimedia. The system must produce graduates who are equipped to function in a modern economy, because ours will be a modern economy. This presupposes that we embark on a massive teacher training and retraining program. To ensure we retain all our quality teachers, we will ensure attractive salaries and benefit packages. A government which the PNCR is part of must engage the Guyana Teachers Union to establish a framework for drastic improvement in the lot of our teachers. For it is in their hands lie the future of this nation, and we must recognize the importance of their responsibility, and therefore we must reward them properly. A major element of the education program for the Transformed Guyana must be adult education. It must be more than literacy classes. It must include a network of night schools to facilitate those who did not matriculate being able to return to school and improve themselves. The goal must be to equip every Guyanese with skills and expertise so that they could meaningfully contribute to a dynamic economy. To this end, we must develop an education system that ensures academic excellence and a high level of literacy across Guyana, while at the same time promoting technical and vocational training to produce well-trained and competent personnel who can contribute to the development of Guyana. We also need to develop a strong and professional public service that can service a modern Guyana with a modern economy. The task devolves on us to develop a meritocracy and move away from the present approach in which party affiliation of employment and promotion, the discrimination must end. The present system suits the present government, but it stifles Guyana's development. The economy we envisage is an economy that serves all Guyanese. There will be no shortage of jobs. In fact, we foresee the need to import labor from Caribbean countries. However, we must commit to ensuring quality jobs are created, jobs that provide living wages. It is not enough to say we create 5,000 jobs, 10,000 jobs, and people still cannot live. We need jobs so that people can earn to live. Salary must allow workers to provide for their families, enjoy recreation and leisure, such as vacations, and accumulate assets. Action needs to be taken to ensure Guyanese workers in the oil and gas sector, in fact, all Guyanese, are paid livable wages and salaries. The PNCR must ensure a network of roads across the country that will allow families to enjoy the beauty of our country. Parents should be able to hop into their cars and with their children for a day trip to the Rupununi Savannas or Kaichuo Falls. The PNCR commits to the development of an interregional highway system that connects all 10 administrative regions. The present piecemeal approach cannot work. For years, we heard the PPP boasting of GDP figures and meager economic growth, but never how the ordinary Guyanese is faring. Their focus is on creating wealth for themselves, their families and friends. Our focus must be about facilitating wealth creation by ordinary Guyanese for ordinary Guyanese. The PNCR must embrace the policy of wealth creation not only to facilitate small business and micro enterprises, but also giving tangible support through grants and training. We believe that oil resources should go towards improving the amount of businesses, new and small businesses in Guyana. This will reduce the gap between the richest 1% of Guyanese and the rest of the country. We need to close the gap. It will promote the development of sustainable villages and village economies and narrow the gap between rural and urban areas. We believe our people are getting too little from our oil revenue. We will ensure a much larger percentage of our oil revenue goes back to our people. While we want foreign investors and welcome them, and while we want them to earn based on their investment, our people must benefit as well from the oil and gas sector. The PNCR will do everything to increase the benefits of our people from the oil and gas revenue. A critical aspect of improved quality of life of Guyanese is reliable electricity and pure water. And you all will remember that both of them were improving while we were in government. The first step in resolving this issue is for the government to deem interruption in electricity and pure water supply as totally unacceptable. The PPP doesn't. They see it as a Guyanese reality which must be managed. The PNCR rejects this notion. We will embrace a program for modification and transformation of the Guyana Power and Light and the Guyana Water Inc. We must increase capacity significantly above peak demand. Also, we must improve transmission and distribution. It will be a significant investment. It will cost us much. But the PNCR believes the increased quality of life of Guyanese will worth every cent. We believe that cheap energy is a necessity for development. In this regard, we will promote an energy policy that will allow for sustainable and affordable energy as a basis for the industrialization of Guyana. There is a direct connection between quality of life and governance in any country. At the moment, the opposition has no access to the state media. Our parliament hardly meets, and the speaker and government treat it with scant regard, if any at all. People have been fired and continue to be fired based on ethnic and political considerations. The Guyana Police Force has been politicized, and the lawless is allowed to walk free, while innocent Guyanese are unlawfully incarcerated for 72 hours without any suspicion that they have committed a crime. The police force has been transformed into a political tool to be used against the PPPC political opponents and protect PPPC transgressors of the law. The recent incident where a lawyer had the audacity to spit on and describe a police woman as a black monkey occurred because the PPP has created conditions propitious to such callous and racist behavior. We place the blame squarely at the feet of the People's Progressive Party. The PPP's silence on this matter is evidence that they are complicit and are not disposed to ensuring that this Guyanese woman gets justice. We condemn this heinous crime and call on the Guyana Police Force to take the necessary action to ensure justice. Failure to act on this matter will further demoralize ranks in the Guyana Police Force and create the impression that racism and the assault of our women and police generally is acceptable. We cannot accept that. A new coalition government, of which the PNCR is a part, will ensure Parliament functions as it should. We will establish civil rights units in every government ministry and agency. These units will have the right to investigate all complaints of discrimination, be it ethnic, gender, or sexual orientation. We will professionalize the Guyana Police Force by enacting legislation which will insulate its leadership from political manipulation and control. The law will follow its course, and whoever commits crime will be subjected to the full process of the law. We live in a society in which the Jack Deo Ali regime refuses to allow the independence of constitutional bodies, bodies such as the Procurement Commission, the Natural Resource Fund, and many others that should be independent organs of the government. The PPPC clearly has no interest in good governance, accountability, and transparency. They are intent in subsuming organs of the state to promote their domination and control. We will confront these excesses and ensure they are ended. I want to point out to all Guyanese that we have been taking the approach of engaging and making recommendations. The PPP seems to believe they can do as they like. Whenever political actions come, they must see it as being caused by them themselves. As if the foregoing is not enough, the PPPC sabotages and seeks to dominate all regional and neighborhood democratic councils and municipalities won by the APNU-AFC. The same is true about the indigenous villages as well. A clear indication that the PPP has no intention of accepting the will of the people at the local level. How could the PPP talk about democracy when it continues to refuse to facilitate democracy at the local level? This is clear evidence that the PPP will never ever promote and protect democracy. This should be no surprise, since their internal party electoral process is nothing but a sham. I heard Jack Deo commenting on our internal elections, saying only 1,000-something people voted. Let me remind him that in his party election, for Irfan Ali to become presidential candidate, no more than 35 people voted. He has no moral right to speak whatsoever. How could a party with no internal democracy try to project itself as a champion of democracy? They are not. They are dictatorial. The PNCR must commit to a review of the scope and functioning of the Local Government Commission and the enacting of relevant legislation to ensure local democracies cannot be undermined by any government whatsoever. The PNCR is aware that PPP domination and control and unwillingness to allow constitutional bodies to function are aimed at facilitating the high levels of corruption involving the PPPC elite, friends, and family. This high level of PPPC corruption destroys the moral fabric of our society. It compromises law enforcement, erodes professional competence, destroys our national institution, and retard the development of Guyana. The biggest obstacle to development in Guyana is the People's Progressive Party. The People's National Congress reform, the party of Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, is obligated and duty-bound to arrest the decline propelled by the PPP. PPP corruption and incompetence are a double on this nation. The unconscionable Jack Deo Ali government is a curse on the nation. We must act. I want to move away from the script to respond to Mr. Jack Deo's comments yesterday. It is unfortunate that he is worried that we need a clean voters list. But let's repeat it. We need and we must get a clean voters list. In responding to our calls for a clean voters list and our engagement with the diplomatic community, he went berserk. He fails to recognize that you cannot have free and fair elections if you don't have a clean voters list. He seems to be bargaining for a bloated list. What he didn't tell the international community is that in the communities where they exercise fear with a bloated list, the PPP can use it and do just like they did in the last election, rig. But the PPP has a special skill. They rig and then they accuse others of rigging. We say to them, a clean voters list is a must. He commented on the recount process, but he failed to point out that it was not just to count the ballots, there was also to be an evaluation, and therefore the votes that were illegal should not have been counted. And so he glosses over that. But I say to the international community, I say to Guyanese, the recount revealed the corruption, the dishonesty, and the rigging of the People's Progressive Party in the 2020 elections. They did not allow the entire recount process to occur. I believe the international community is coming to its senses. They recognize that leopards don't change their spots. And if they're corrupt and they are riggers and they are thieves, they will continue to do that until the end of time. But he is also spreading misinformation. He was suggesting that we want to get rid of an election commission in which the government has 3 and the opposition has 3. In doing that, he concealed the main fact. And let me say to you what we raised with the international community. We raised with them the fact that yes, we have 3 government, yes, we have 3 opposition, but that the chairman is supposed to be independent. And what we are saying is that the chairman of the Elections Commission is not independent. We are noting that she votes on every occasion with the People's Progressive Party. We have noted that she conspired with them to break the rules to make a chief elections officer who isn't qualified for the job. And so she is partisan. And so our mantra must be 2. Our mantra must be 2. A clean voters list and Claudette Singh must go. She must go to ensure that we have elections that are free and fair. Her presence will not facilitate that. It is our intention to ensure a united Guyana. We do not want elections to divide us again. If the people of Guyana are to enjoy a drastically improved quality of life, we must address the issue of race relations. We will not only promote peace and harmony, but if we address race relations, we will also ensure greater political accountability. For instance, let's look at PPP corruption and incompetence. They are operating with impunity because they believe they have a guaranteed block of votes. I believe that they are wrong. The civil rights unit I mentioned earlier will contribute to enhancing social cohesion and improve race relations. However, we will have to do more. I believe a new coalition government must examine the issue of shared governance. In a shared governance framework, and notice I said a new government, we could overhaul the systems and processes of government, not only to make it more efficient and effective, but also reduce the ability of government to act capriciously against citizens, to act at their own whims and fancies. The high cost of food and cost of living generally should send a clear message to all that we need to use our revenue from oil to develop our agriculture and agro-processing. The PNCR believes in and will promote the development of agriculture in all 10 regions. Clearly, every region should be supported to develop their agriculture. Every region must be made self-sufficient in food production. This will not only generate employment, it will also contribute to reduced cost of living. Clearly, this government is not addressing the issue. Having said all of that, most Guyanese believe that there is only one hope that is left, and that hope is the People's National Congress reform in collaboration with the coalition. We must see ourselves as the change agents. When we take government, the task will be enormous. We cannot meet this challenge if we are not organized as a party. Our founder leader, Lyndon Forbes Sampson Burnham, laid the basis for a strong, efficient, and effective party. We must return to the fundamentals of our party. We must work towards putting a party group or cell in every electoral division. Our success is dependent on our organization on the ground. We must organize our neighborhood democratic committees, district and regional committees, with the competence to give effective leadership to our members, supporters, and to all Guyanese. Our leadership must be by example. Our founder leader in 1974 told us that, and we must recommit to giving leadership by example. The responsibility is ours to demonstrate to the Guyanese society that we are well prepared to be the next government of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. The party group must take on new functions. They must focus on working with communities to ensure the development of services that will improve the quality of life of all Guyanese. Above all, we must foster unity in our party. There's a place in the party for all. The outdated approach where persons are ostracized after exercising their democratic right to compete at party elections has no place in the PNCR. It is for this reason we have co-opted to the central executive many of our competent comrades who competed and were not successful. Our party needs all our committed and competent members on board. We need all hands on deck. It is also the task of our party members groups to represent people in our communities. You are elected to represent people. I urge all of you who have no interest in representing people to do the honorable thing. But even as we pursue party unity, we need to be aware that there are those who do not willingly embrace change. We must continue to engage these comrades. At the same time, we must do everything to ensure our party continues on this road to progress, in which leadership is accountable and serve the interests of our members, supporters, and all Guyanese. We must have a people-centered, caring party. Ours is a party to build. Let us build it together. We must focus on strategically position our party to return to government as part of a stronger coalition at the earliest possible time. As a party, we are returning to our grassroots base. We believe the days for elitism, they are over. We need to be in the community every day. And I want to say this to you. You do not have to wait on the central executive and the leader to be in the community. You are leaders in your own right. Our founder leader years ago said to us, and I want us to relive it, that every member of this party is a leader and must lead. I urge you to give leadership at the community level. It will redound to the benefit of our party. Our party has to widen its base. Our party will do work in every community, regardless of ethnicity. We will do work among religion. We will do work wherever the people of Guyana are found. And that is what we must do. We need to focus on widening our base. I believe a strong party will serve us well. But more importantly, we need to focus on the youth. We need to bring new youth leadership to our party. We need to create conditions to expose our young people to leadership and prepare them for the task ahead. I sense if you look at the head table, I am the only veteran there, and that is a good indication. I believe we have to promote the development of young people. The same is true about our women. You know, this party is dead without women. And women are dead without this party. If it is one thing I recall from the leader saying to us years ago, if you get on the wrong side of the women in the party, you're on your way out. And so, I want to salute the women in our party. We recognize you as being the rock on which our party stands. We recognize you as making many sacrifices. You manage homes. You manage men. I don't know why you oil, you know it is true. I was told that, men, when you hear men talking on the road about the house and how they control it, a female told me must tell them, they don't run houses, they run around them. And so we appreciate our women folk and we will continue to promote them. We need to organize our party to obtain government. We are creating the environment for it. We have done the work at home and we are doing the work at the international level. Guyana does not exist in a vacuum. We operate in a globalized world that is interconnected and interdependent. We need an international environment that is conducive to our development. It is for this reason we will pursue our national interests while being responsive to the concerns of other actors in the rough and tumble world of international relations. The PNCR continues to work to create an environment conducive to our development. As a party, we believe our first priority in international relations is to protect our territorial integrity. And therefore, we continue to be committed to our country and will continue to be united with the government in support of the view that our border with Venezuela has been settled by the arbitral award. And at the same time, we will support the ICJ process that is aimed at having the matter settled amicably. We recommit ourselves. As a party, I believe we are well placed to return to government in the shortest possible time. We must continue to work hard and connect with all our people and mobilize and organize them to ensure we return to government with the sole purpose of serving all Guyanese and developing our beautiful country, Guyana. Long live the People's National Congress reform. Long live our membership. And I say to you, together we work hard, we make the sacrifice, and we will be rewarded with government once more. Thank you.
Comrades, I think we can do better than that. Let's give our leader another round of applause.